Right, good morning and welcome to those who missed the meeting and are now watching this video. It's really important you catch up with your work. I'm going to present to you what I need to do. Also, if you could make sure that in the chat there you ask any questions or you interrupt verbally so that you can get help. Now I'm going to share my entire screen. So you should be able to see my screen now. And what we're going to do is we're going to have some practice at doing word equations. Actually, this is not the right one. I want this one here. We're going to have practice at doing simultaneous equations into one variable. So that's what I hope to do. But first of all, I'm going to show you where you need to go. So when you go to Google Classrooms, which is here, please go to Google Classrooms. I'll be putting another notice up the top here of what to do. Go to our sign-in Google accounts. Go to Math 3 Simultaneous Equations. And here we have the work for 1st to the 7th of March. Now, I've put 2 videos on words to equations. I've already done this. I'm going to go over it again this period, but you can check part 1 and part 2. I've got a practice assessment task 1 and task 2. And later on today, I'll be uploading the video on the practice assessment. I've almost finished. It's taking a lot of time. But you can go and you can access this. Also, under this work at the bottom here, I'm going to post the recording for this video so that you can see this lesson again if you want to go over something. So this lesson will be at the bottom. So that's on our Google Sites, Maths HN, and it's going to be down the bottom. Still, you've got other things at the top, simultaneous equations, you've got solving equations in 2 variables. Perhaps I'll just go over the video without the sound, because as I do it, it's just like I normally teach. So that might be the easiest way. So you will see this video, and I'm going to turn the sound right down, so I will mute it. Yeah, and I'll just go over it. So this is me teaching and teaching again, so you can see my face there. I wonder if I can get this bigger. But what we're going to do is we're looking at a question, and we're putting words into equations. And the thing that you need to look for is the totals. So see up here, we've got the prices of videos, and we have some totals here. We've got 2,000 tiles. That's one of the totals. Am I actually playing this? I'm actually playing. Here we go. Because it should show exactly what I'm doing on this. I don't want all this other stuff here. Maybe this is not the best idea. Let's go back to the original document and we'll have a look at this here, simultaneous equations. Okay, so we'll start here. I think, no, I won't start with this one, I'll start with this one. Yeah. So although I've used this before, hopefully we can see, I'll rub off my writing. I should have done this before. Oops, I want the stroke eraser. I'm going to rub all this off. So, you see here? Right, Duncan is retiling his bathroom. He places an order with a tile company for 3 kinds of tiles. And we've got white tiles of 70 cents. We have got grey tiles of 50 cents, and we've got black tiles of 60 cents. We're looking for totals. We've got 2,000 tiles, and we've got totals of 1,140. So we want an equation for the total of tiles. Now, what we need to do is let white tiles equal W, grey tiles equal G, and black tiles equal B. You could use X, Y, and Z. So this is the totals equation. See this? Totals for tiles is W plus G plus B. Now this next sentence here, which I'm going to highlight in yellow, is chosen bathroom design needs twice as many grey tiles as white tiles. This here I call a balance equation. So with the balance equation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a seesaw. So you put it here, and this is a very handy feature for me. So the seesaw, he needs twice as many grey tiles as white tiles, so he needs more grey. So they will weigh down the white, because when he gets home, he's got twice as many grey as white. If I want to make this now equal to each other, I have to double the white. So that's where I get grey equals 2W. So that's that one there. That is what I call the balance equation. And then the next one I've got the total price here. So this is going to be all in dollars. And I have here 0.7, 0.5, 0.6. That's WGB equals 1140. All of these are in dollars. I could have written it all in cents. I could have 70 W, and I could have had 50 G, and I could have had 60 B, but I'd have to put this in cents. I'd have 14000. That's all in cents now, not in dollars. So this would be an acceptable equation, or that. But please don't mix dollars up with cents. Don't have 60 over here and dollars over on this side. So that's really important. And now we can solve this. And you can solve this with either a graphics calculator, the Gaussian elimination method, or any other method. And sorry, no, this one won't need rounding. Sorry, I should have crossed that out. Sometimes they do need rounding. I copied and pasted that. This one won't. And then you're to draw a geometrical solution. So to draw the geometrical solution, remember I've gone over this before. You just draw a Y like that. So your solution is there. And then you have your various equations. This would be equation 1 on this side. Equation 2 could be at the top. Whoops, I didn't change the color there. Equation 2 could be at the top here. And equation 3 could be over here. Okay, so good. I'll just see if there are any questions on the side there. That's not what I want. Where am I going? Google Meet. This one here. This is what I want. Right, are there any questions on the side here? Okay, we just got that. No questions. Okay, so just pop your questions up if you have anything. And Ryan, it looks as though your mic's not on mute, so any sound you make we'll pick up. So that's fine. Okay, so I'll go over one more, and then I will just probably leave it there as enough for today for you to get on with the work. Now, where am I going? Going down here to OneNote. So we're going to have a look at the second task here, just to make sure, because you really need a lot of practice of putting things into words. All right, so we need to do this. So I'll go over this one here again. I'm going to go over it slowly. And we've got here Felix, whoops. Felix works in a furniture factory. He works by himself. He makes bookshelves and chairs and tables. He has a supply of 1,750 meters. So that's a total. He works 160 hours each month. That's a total. And so I've only got 2 things here at the moment, 2 totals. Well, let's go and do that anyway. So I'm going to let 50, I'm going to let B equals 50, and B equals bookshelves rather. C is chairs, T for tables. Well, here's the next one. Here's something we got some information. He decides to make 4 times as many chairs as he does tables. I'm going to call this my balance equation. And while we're thinking of it now, let's do the balance. We'll draw a seesaw. And you see he makes 4 times as many chairs as tables. So what do you think goes on the bottom here? Chairs or tables? So I'd like you to write that in the little chat there. Is it chairs or tables that go on the bottom? Says he does 4 times as many chairs as tables. Would you put chairs on? I want to see the little on the chat, please. Put a little chat there whether it's chairs or tables. No one knows. Oh dear. Is anyone listening? Table. Good, we've got 1 person answered. Just 1 person. Well, thank you, Jessica, for that answer. Everyone else is confused, as I think you are too, Jessica. So let's go back here. It says he decides to make 4 times as many chairs as tables. So he's got lots of chairs down here, lots and lots of chairs, but he's only got tables up there. He makes more chairs than tables. So we put the chairs on our bottom because the chairs is the number, not the weight. So the number of chairs is going to be greater than the number of tables. We're not looking at the weight of the chairs and the tables. Does that make sense? Click yes if that makes sense. I want to see yeses or nos down on the chat, please. Okay, 1, 2 people. Makes sense to 2 people. Everyone else gone back to sleep? 3 people makes 4. Good. Neva's here, Ryan. Good. No, good. Okay. This is good feedback. It knows that you're still listening and that you're understanding. If you don't understand, I want to know. Right, so we've got more chairs. Now, if I want this now to be equal, which one do I have to multiply by 4? Do I have to multiply the chairs by 4 to make it equal, or do I have to multiply the tables by 4 to make it equal? Put it in the chat, please. Which one do I multiply by 4? Chairs or tables to make it equal? I want to see in the chat there. Tables, tables. Now you're understanding. Good. So a couple of people understand. And if you know that, that's the hardest part of these. So I've got 4t there. We'll have to equal chairs. Most people read this 4 times as many chairs and they go 4c, and they don't get the assessment correct. So it's really important we understand this idea of a seesaw to help us understand how to do the equation. Okay, so we're going to say let bookshelves equals B. This is a statement. Please include this statement. C stands for chairs, T for tables. Write that down. And then the next thing we have to do is we have to do the total timber. So the total timber, we've got 50B. You see that? 50B. That's what that is. 25 meters for the chairs, 120 meters for the tables. That's our total for the timber. Where did I get that total from? It's sitting up here. We do the same for the hours. So this is the total hours. So you put your hours on the right and you put the letters on the left. Please line them up. So B's, C's, and T's. And lastly, you've got this last one, C equals 4T. I call that the balance equation. Then once you've got those, you can go ahead and you can solve them. Now you can solve it with a graphics calculator. You can solve it with the Gaussian elimination method or any other method. And you write your answers in context. The practice that we're having today is just writing things in words. Right? So perhaps I'll give you this one here to do. See if you can get the equations in words for this one. I'm just going to cross out my my writing here. Right, I want some 3 equations for this. And because we've got P in that, there's your first statement. Can you write 3 equations for that? I'm going to give you 3 or 4 minutes. Work in silence. And when you've done it, I want you to click yes on the chat there. Okay, so I want you to click yes on the chat when you've done it. And I'll just move this over so I can see the chat at the same time, hopefully. Hold on. Right. Can I reduce that? I'll just see if I can reduce this chat area. I'll move it over a bit more. Right. I can now see the chat on my thing. So when you're finished, can you please type yes down here? And we'll see if we have understood the task. You're going to write 3 equations and you're looking for totals. Oh, actually, this one hasn't got any totals. This is all 3 balance equations. So you want 3 balance equations here. You're going to have 3 seesaws. So I'll draw my seesaws while I'm waiting for you. Right, in the chat column, type in yes if you're ready for the answer or no if you're not ready. So yes means you're either stuck and need some help or you've got it. No means you are getting there and you want a bit more time. Are you ready for the answers? Type in yes or no in the chat column. Thanks, Neve. Good, that must mean you're making progress. Good. I'll leave it, and just when you're done, when you're ready, just type in yes. Is anyone ready for the answers? Type in yes or no. Please respond with the yes or no. There are 12 of you, 11 of you there. Right, a few people ready for the answers. So it's probably gone long enough. Right, so we are going to do the first one. She has, and I'll do this in black here, she has 7 more pencils than pens. So because she's got more pencils, they are going to be on the left. So X is pencils, and pens is going to be on the right. Now, if we want to make this equal, so we actually want to change this so it becomes equal. So where do I have to add the 7 on? I'd have to add the 7 on to the number of pencils. So I get the equation x equals y plus 7. So let's have a look and see if that's what I got there. There's my balance equation. X equals y plus 7. So that was correct. Now we go to the next one. She has 5 times as many pens as highlighters. So the pens are down here and the highlighters are up there. So to make it equal over along here, which ones do I have to multiply by 5? I would have to multiply that one by 5 to bring it up, to balance it. So I got x equals 5z. And the last one, which I'll do in green here, twice as many pens as she has pencils and highlighters together. So again, the pens are here, and the pencils and the highlighters are together. and I've got to make it equal, so I have to double them. Please put brackets around your pencils and brackets around the y and the z, because it says together. You could have written this last one out here as x equals 2y plus 2z. Right, I'm going to stop here. First of all, if that was helpful, just put helpful or confusing in the messages down here. I want to know, has it been helpful, confusing, or not helpful? I want to know whether I'm getting through to people. So I'd like everyone to respond, please, whether I need to know whether you need extra help. Helpful, confusing, or not. Right, so Lex, you found it good. Neve, 2. Ryan, 3. Gillian, 4. Helen, 5. Right, 5 of you have found it helpful, and the others haven't answered yet. So maybe they're struggling. So if you're struggling, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go back to our Google Sites, go to Math 3 Simultaneous Equations. I want you to go down here, and I want you to have a look at the video. I've done other examples in the video. When you look at the video, please pause it. Pause the video so you try the questions, then watch the answers. Don't just let me do all the work. Think about it as you go. And there's a practice assessment 1. When you click on this practice assessment 1, it will take you here to this document. Hopefully it works. All right. And when you do this document, A is going to be the achieved part. The rest of it, B, C, and D, are going to be the merit and excellence. So remember, for the first bit, when you get up to here, how many tiles of each does Duncan buy? Those there will be the first bit. That's the achieved bit on that. But the video will have B, C, and D. So those who want to go on to the excellence part and the merit part, you can go ahead and do the learning. I'll load the answers up later for that. Now, where do I go back? Go back here. So that's if you want to have a look at the assessment 1. There's another assessment, part 2. Those who want to really get on and do it. But particularly today, I want you to do part 1 and part 2. I want you to understand how to do equations to words. And I will have another worksheet up here, which I gave. No, it's going to give out to you today, but I'll put another worksheet here on words to equations, and we'll have a look at that at the next lesson. So by next lesson, I'm going to check, do you know how to do words into equations? So that's for before tomorrow, and we'll have a next lesson tomorrow at 2 p.m. Now, if you like, you can stay on and ask me questions. Otherwise, you can log off. But down here at the bottom, under the simultaneous equations, I will upload this video, and I will have another worksheet there. So that should get you underway. Are there any questions from any of you at this stage? And I can stop sharing. If there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise, you can leave. Gurleen's already left, that's fine. So you can just leave, but I will be available. You can come back and ask me if you want. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Neve. Bye. Bye, Josh. Oh, and Jack, before you go, thank you, Stephen, you're here. Jack, before you go, you're going to have to hand over the meeting recording to me somehow. You will receive an email in about 5 or 10 minutes as owner of the meeting. Just hand it over to me. Thank you.
Pardon, Miss? Pardon, sir? Excuse me, sir.
Recording.